The main reason why living right now feels really difficult is because this is where we are. This is from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is the last scene between Aang and Sozin, where the dark is literally battling the light at the soul level. And we have just a shred of light, or so it seems. This is why it's so difficult for us right now, because in our previous era that was steeped with illusion, coming to the realization that all of the energies, or much of the energies that we've been embodying as a people, are the exact opposite way to be living and to get the actual life that we've been wanting for so long, is very difficult to release all of those energies in order for you not to continue to be corrupted by the dark, right? And it would appear that we are much like Aang, like this, where if our own energy is not stable, we will be corrupted. And what we have to realize is, in this current 3D universe, we are at the lowest vibrational place. When people talk about low vibes, they're not just being condescending or arrogant. They're trying to tell you that people are existing at their lowest level instincts in every chakra, at their root, in their sacral, in their solar plexus, okay? Their hearts are blocked, etc. Things keep seeming like it's getting darker and creepier in the stories that come out. Do you realize we're just descending further into darkness? The blue light is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. That is what's happening. Hold your frequency. Hold that line, and we'll burst back into the light. What I'm seeing is a collective of people in a freeze, because we're dealing with a level of violence and a level of evil that our nervous systems don't feel like we've directly encountered, and our trauma response is the freeze right now. It doesn't matter how much history you hear. It doesn't matter how many people tell you catastrophic, horrific, terrible things that are happening all over this country, all over this world. Why are we all still here? Because we're frozen. We don't actually know what to do. Most of us are freezing. So the next time you hear a story about somebody who was in some grave situation and they were assaulted, they were robbed, they were whatever, and you wonder, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? Why didn't you punch them in the face? Why didn't you fight back? Just know that you know why. Because you're doing it right now. You don't know what to do. Your system has not dealt with that. You don't know how to process that. So your system is just not dealing with it until it feels like it can, or until it doesn't have a choice. And at this point, you could argue that it already feels like it doesn't have a choice, and it's choosing to freeze. I pray somebody feels me, okay? I do not long for a man. I long to feel like I matter. There is so much content about if a man does this, if a man does that, if a man does this, what whoop-de-doo. I don't care. I want to wake up and not feel like I am creating endlessly into the void until I expire. Because it just makes me want to expire. And what you're gonna say is, I know what you're gonna say, 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 I know what you're gonna say. It's about validation. You want validation. I don't know if it's validation as much as I want meaning. Can you understand that it feels meaningless to me? That this feels meaningless to me? Every day, I can make so much sense. I'm on this internet all the time, making hella sense. And it feels meaningless. Feminine journey update. So here's what I've been crying about for 2 days. I understand that me personally and a lot of other feminines out there are here to heal generations of feminines before us who were never chosen, who were abandoned, betrayed, rejected, etc. Part of healing that, though, I'm learning from an amazing guide on YouTube, and I feel like you only find her channel when you've gotten to a certain point. So I'm a gatekeep for now. But you're here to heal that rejection wound, which is the reason why rejection feels and has always felt to me so disproportionate in love. Like, I've always felt like it was just so much on me. Like, I was baffled as to why so many layers of rejection kept happening to me. Now it makes sense, right? Here's what is messing me up. We heal that through not only experiencing, at least for me as a twin flame, from not only experience it at the height of the moment when you feel like you found the purest love. You're then immediately devastated, right? But through getting to a point where you know that love doesn't need permission and reciprocity. The whole love not needing permission part is super easy for me. Like, the love bonds that I feel with individuals are as pure as I am. I have never needed permission to love you. In fact, I would rather not have certain people in my love for them because how they actually behave usually messes that up. But the reciprocity part is what's killing me, because how do I manage to rise to a place where I no longer need reciprocity when I was never given reciprocity? How do I eliminate the need when I was programmed with a predisposition to yearn for that very thing? Like, this is not about romance. We're past that. If you're still on that, your consciousness is on the fucking floor. We're past that shit. Romance was created to cope with the fact that we exist to suffer. Spirituality exists for us to make meaning of our suffering. But that doesn't, just because you're spiritually aware, that doesn't make you exempt from your physical experience. You're still going through it. Your only job is to continue to go through it and not collapse and not shut down. But for me, I have two modes. I oscillate in divine clarity and utter grief. And my grief is about how we live to suffer, to gain awareness, to become higher vibrationally, just to vibrate, just to be. That don't ever make you be like, so why energy? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? One thing that living in a capitalist society for the last 35 years has taught me is that desperation is dangerous, and that when you get in a desperate position, you're vulnerable and you're liable to do things that you maybe wouldn't do, and you get yourself wrapped up with individuals you shouldn't be wrapped up with, and you just go down a path that you are susceptible to your lowest instincts, right? I am seeing late stage TikTok do that to y'all. When they broke TikTok at the beginning of this year, whenever they first broke TikTok, it was never the same, right? But now when I come on this app, I see more videos about making content, but it's not actually content. I see more videos begging for views than I see people actually talking about something that is deserving of views. And it's like nobody catches on that, like, this is what capitalism is doing to you when it comes to you being a content creator, you being popular online. It's getting desperate.